Welcome back to Well, What Do You Know? Today's episode is a really fun one and a first for the podcast. This is my first international interview. I'm joined by Emma Robbins, who grew up in England and took a huge leap of faith to move to Boone, Iowa on a basketball scholarship. She did this despite barely having ever played basketball before. We talk about social anxiety, stepping out of your comfort zone, the culture shocks between the UK and the Midwest, and how that experience helped shape where she is today, working in a microbiology lab and doing some modeling on the side. It's a great conversation about risk, growth, and the people who change our lives along the way. So let's jump in and hear Emma's story. Well, Emma, thanks for joining me this morning. I guess it's noon there, right? So morning here. I really appreciate it. Obviously, it's my first overseas interview here, so I know it was kind of weird to work out, but I really appreciate you taking the time for me today. So tell me about growing up and your family, and just start from there if you would.
Yeah. So I live in a very happy family. I have an older sister and a younger brother. My younger brother was actually born on my third birthday, so
Oh, wow.
we share a birthday, which honestly is great because my
Yeah.
parents have always treated it as like kind of like we have separate birthdays. They get us separate cakes, we have separate parties, but then it's like you don't have all the attention on you like when
Right.
when you're opening presents and stuff, which is perfect for me because like I grew up quite a socially anxious child.
Hmm.
Um, I always struggled with that, and I think my parents were they did do a lot for me. Um, and like throughout school, I would always be like so scared to answer the questions in class and everything like
Yeah.
that. Um, the first school I went to, it was from reception to end of year seven, which I'm not sure what that would be. That might be like up to grade 8 for
Okay.
you, something like that. So I went there for a lot of my childhood. And that was a school like that my mum taught at. It was a very small school. My
Hmm.
siblings were there. And because I grew up in that environment, it felt very much like family, really.
Right.
And then when I moved school at the end of year seven, it was it was terrifying for me because it was like I was in a new environment where I did not know anyone. So that was interesting.
And how big of
And
a school was it that you transferred to?
pardon?
How big of a school was it? How many students were there?
It was quite a small school again. I was originally meant to be moving to a school that my sister had moved to, but I couldn't get into there because they were full.
Okay.
So then I ended up going to a school called Stour Valley, and it was it definitely worked out better for me because it was a smaller school than the one my sister went to, and again it had a nicer environment. Sammy Ward, the one that my sister went to, wasn't really known to be a great school,
Hmm.
but it was where so if you live in like a certain distance from the school, you have to like be provided with a bus to get you there.
Okay.
So when I would have been able to get the bus to there, which is why I didn't originally apply to this school that I ended up going to, because it wasn't like it's called like catchment area. I wasn't in that catchment area, so
Hmm.
I wouldn't have been provided a bus. But because I didn't get into Samuel Ward, like that was, their kind of doing, they had to provide me a bus to go to the Stour Valley. But yeah, that worked out better for me. And then the sixth form, which is like it's the 2 years before college, so when I went to DMAC,
Hmm.
so it's just 2 years. I was originally planning on going to this new sixth form that had just opened up that basically all of my friends were going to from Stour Valley, and I grew up in a very sporty kind of family, so
Hmm.
we were raised doing like tennis, swimming, everything we had a go
Yeah.
at. And then I got into netball, which I know a lot of Americans don't
Yeah.
really know.
You're gonna have to explain netball.
Yes, in more simple terms, it's kind of like basketball, but you can't dribble the ball. You have 3 seconds to pass the ball. The hoop doesn't have a backboard, and you play with like a size 5 ball, so
Okay.
one smaller than what we would play with in basketball. So I got into that, and I was loving it. Much better than swimming, because with swimming you can't breathe when your face is in the water, and I quite like to breathe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went into netball, and one of the basketball coach who actually coached at that sixth form that I ended up going to, he saw me playing netball, and because I'm 6'2", he was like, "Oh, you should try basketball," and he said, "Oh, I can get you a scholarship to America and everything like that." And I was like, "Oh, that'd be great." I don't think I had much hope for it, considering I'd never played basketball before.
And what age was this that you started basketball?
That would have been 2 years before I went to DMAC.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I was kind of thrown into that, and I decided to go. I was like, why not take a risk, So
Yeah.
I went to another new school where no one from my previous school was going to. And I was thrown into like practice there. They played with the boys as well, so the intensity of those sessions was like really high.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thrown into that. And they did all say they don't know how I did it, like going into an environment where I'd never played the sport before and just joining into that. But yeah, I stuck with it. There was some times where I did want to quit, because I did feel so far behind everyone else, and I got to a stage where I was burnt out, because we'd practice morning and evening and sometimes throughout the day as well. So we'd be doing like at least 3 hours of basketball a day, getting up early, getting home late. And it was so new to me, and I got burnt out really quickly. And I remember there was one day I was sitting in my room. I felt absolutely awful. My dad came in to speak to me, and I told him that I was thinking of quitting because I didn't think I could do it anymore. And he was saying to me, just to stick with it a little bit longer, just to give it a go. And I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. We don't usually have those kind of, heart-to-heart conversations.
Yeah.
So that really meant a lot to me. And I was like, okay, I'll stick it out for a bit longer. And I'm so glad I did.
Yeah. You mentioned that you have a tight family. What do mom and dad do?
My mum, she did work as a teacher, but more recently she's actually gone to work in the ambulance service. So she's an EMT doing that.
Wow.
And my dad works at a place called IFF, it's International Flavors and Fragrances. So he's like a factory kind of thing.
Yeah. Did you have a good relationship with your parents growing up?
Yeah, I did. I mean, like how it always is, really, I guess. When I was growing up, I would argue a lot with my siblings.
Yeah.
But now, like, my sister's moved out and my brother's gone off to college, which is...
Has he really? Sad. Wow.
Yeah. So I do miss them. I can't lie.
Yeah. Your brother's quite tall as well, right? So is he playing basketball or anything?
He is, yeah. He's 6'4", 6'5", so he's gone off to play basketball. He's still in England. He's gone up to a place called Sheffield, and we live like in a little village called Keddington. It's about half an hour from Cambridge, so southeast of England. And he's gone up north a bit. It's a 3-hour journey, which for Americans doesn't sound like that. Yeah. But for us Brits, it's quite a long way. Right. It was like over half the country away.
You described yourself as socially anxious earlier. That had to be very brave of you then to change schools a couple of times, try a new sport, eventually go to America with it.
Yeah, I think my social anxiety was it lasted. I mean, I still do have that a little bit, but taking that step to go to America when I did end up getting that scholarship, that really helped me come out of my shell more. Because I think always living with my parents and having them there to constantly support me when I needed it, it did good for me to step away from that and move halfway across the world where I couldn't rely on them so much. It was just like, if I don't kind of put myself out there, then I'm not going to enjoy it. And I really wanted to enjoy it. So I kind of did, the fake it till you make it kind of.
Right.
So I did that, and I don't know, it really brought me out of my shell. And when people ask me my greatest achievement, I always say moving to America for the 2 years, because it was something that I'd never really imagined that I'd be able to do because of my social anxiety.
Right.
Yeah.
So describe, if you can, your coach told you he could get you a scholarship to America to play basketball without really even having seen you play basketball. He had seen you play netball, but you didn't dribble, and right? That's a pretty big leap of faith to trust a coach that had you just met.
Yeah. He was, his name's Coach Darren Johnson. Brilliant coach. He's absolutely incredible. He's got so many people over to with scholarships in the States. And he was such a dedicated coach. Some stuff happened at the end of sixth form, which they actually ended up closing that basketball academy, which was such a shame because he was so passionate about it. And he was very strict, very tough, but I think that's what we all needed. And I mean, especially for me, he gave me the confidence that I needed to be able to do this. But yeah, with the amount of extra attention he gave to me, he went over stuff that I needed to work on, as well as focusing on everyone else in that basketball team. I think it's really impressive of him. So I owe it all to him, really.
Yeah. So describe the process of getting from southeast of London to Boone, Iowa.
So my old coach, Coach Johnson, he actually went to DMAC when he was younger. So he still had connections there with the coach just before Jocelyn. He knew him and he was in contact with him, and he told him about me, and he was like, yeah, we'll take her. So yeah, so I ended up going through that, and I think that was sorted just after my first year of playing basketball, so it all happened really quickly.
Yes, I'd say.
Yeah, good on him. He held strong to his word, that's for sure.
Most basketball recruits, though, get to visit the campus, meet the coaches. You didn't get any of that, did you?
No, I didn't. I did have a video chat with the coaches at DMAC, but that was pretty much all of it. And they did send me a box of clothes. They sent me t-shirts for DMAC.
Right.
That was really nice.
That was the recruiting process. Just
yeah, that was the recruiting process. But yeah, that was all I got to see, really, and just looking at the videos on the DMAC website, what the accommodation looked like, what the campus was like, and yeah, that's all I got. But I was like, why not do it?
Wow, that's a huge decision to make. Were your parents on board?
Yeah, they were. They thought it was a brilliant opportunity for me as well. My mum's actually admitted to me that she thought it'd either be a sink or swim situation with me because of my social anxiety.
Right.
So they were really worried about me. They did fly over with me for when I started, and my mum was crying when she left, which is so sweet. But I'd say I felt homesick for the first couple of days, but then it just went, and I was absolutely loving it.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, and kind of like Ali, your daughter,
Yeah.
she really helped not only me but my parents as well, because she was so friendly when we first met her. It was in the car park just outside the building, and she came up to me and she was like, "Oh, we're sharing a room. Do you want to share a bathroom and all of that?" And my parents said they felt such relief because of how friendly she was and how welcoming she was,
Oh,
and they
that's
actually
sweet.
thought they were like, "Oh, Emma's gonna be okay because she has someone there that is so welcoming and so
Yeah.
supportive."
Little did they know that you would spend Thanksgiving with us, and
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they were
yeah.
so grateful for that as well.
When you look back on your time at DMAC, what makes you smile?
Oh, the people,
Yeah.
like so much, because I think I had such a fantastic time there, and when I look back, it is to do with the people there, like Ali and Adriana,
Mhm.
and yeah, the second year when we all got to share a room, it was lovely.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had like a bond quite like that. I mean, I'd never lived with anyone other than my parents before, and to be put in like such close proximity to these other girls, it was new to me, and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
I really did.
And what did you study at DMAC?
I did criminal justice.
I believe Allie would tell us once in a while that she would come home to the apartment and there would be maybe sheets on the walls with blood splatters. Was
Yeah,
that your doing?
I did do a blood spatter analysis class, and it was one of the online ones because I think they it was in Ankeny that they did it, but
Mhm.
because like I couldn't drive, so I was kind of stuck in Boone. I did the online version of it, so Ali actually she picked up the box for me,
Mm.
that with all the fake blood and everything in it that I needed. Um, and yeah, I whack on my goggles, tie up my hair, put on like the weird like poncho kind of thing to
Yeah,
protect my eyes, and have all these sheets out on the floor.
and splatter blood.
To splatter blood about. It was an interesting class. I can't lie. Mm.
So we talked about, living in Boone and your friends, but what brought you there was basketball. What do you remember from your time playing ball? I know you were hurt,
Yeah,
and didn't get to
yeah.
play a lot your second year.
Yeah, I broke my wrist.
Yeah,
I was out my whole
yeah.
second year. Um, I honestly, I don't think I was up to the standards of them then. Like, I was still new to basketball, kind of, and I don't know. It was lovely. It was lovely having that team, um, and it was good having that experience where I was pushed up a level, and I got to see more than what it's like in England, and it is such a different level, and I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I was sitting on the bench for, for that.
Yeah. You mentioned 3-hour journey in England is quite quite a journey, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you had to be for some of those basketball games. Those bus trips were way longer
Mhm.
than that, right?
I know. Yeah, we were traveling to different states around us, and
Yeah.
I remember when we went to visit Ali's grandma.
Right.
Um, that was like I was like, that's such a long journey, and then she treated it like it was nothing, and it was like you're going all the way down to a different state, and you're saying it's like barely anything, and she did it like regularly. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
But I think I did get used to that, having those long trips. I remember when we'd go on those like basketball games that were further away, we'd we'd get those buses. We'd call them coaches over here,
Hmm.
because of the way
Charter
they're
buses.
said. Yeah, um, but there'd be different variations of them. So there'd be ones that had like bed kind of things in them.
Right.
And then one with just the chairs, and it'd be like, if it's just the girls' team that was going, then we'd want like the bed ones because they were so comfortable, and
Right.
you got lots of space. And then when the guys were coming as well, which was quite regular, we'd have a lot less space.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice to be able to travel with the team, I think.
After your 2 years at DMAC wrapped up, did you have a decision to make? Were you on the fence about staying in the U.S. or heading back to England?
Yeah, I did actually consider staying in the US because I did love it so much. There are still things that I think about it, and I'm like, wow, that really was amazing. Like even Iowa, all the cornfields, not really much to do.
Right. Before we wrap up your time in the U.S., tell me your top 3 things that the differences between the U.S. and the U.K. that you really enjoyed.
Yeah, I have such random things for this one.
Okay.
Like top worst ones as well. My top 3, the sunsets.
Oh.
And the scenery, it was so beautiful. I remember when my mum came over to visit me, like, because she was going to be flying home with me at the end of the 2 years. She helped me pack and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I took her to Ledges, and there was this bit, it kind of looked over the river, and it was quite high up, and we watched the sunset there, and it was just stunning. And we saw the sun go down, and we waited for a bit, and we're like, oh, that's it. So then we started to leave, and then the sky just turned red.
Yeah.
Like, it was so beautiful, and all the animals around, it was so stunning. I do miss the sunsets. Even, like, I remember just looking out across car parks and things like that, and it was so beautiful. I'd say that was one of my top things about like the scenery over there. Another thing, more practical based, that I loved about it, the wider roads, and like the spaces in car parks are bigger. Like if you come over here, the roads are tiny. Like I have a really small car, like a little Suzuki Alto, which I'd never seen a car that small over in America. Because you can have bigger cars, they fit on the roads and in the spaces over there. But here they would not. So I definitely stick with a smaller car because I don't really trust my driving ability to drive a bigger car over here. But yeah, the spaces over here are tiny and the roads are tiny.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really not good. So that's a big positive about America, the big roads and the big spaces.
All right, so we have sunsets and big roads.
Yeah.
What's your third?
Third thing, the chicken and the pancakes together. Like, it's such a random thing, but Adriana and I, we went to this restaurant, and they'd been telling me about the chicken and pancakes combination, and I was like, "What is this madness? You can't pair something savory with something that's like sweet. It's such an odd combination." And I tried it, and oh my god, it was incredible. I would dream about those chicken pancakes.
Hey everyone, it's Eric from the Well, What Do You Know podcast. One of my favorite parts of this show is getting to sit down and hear real stories from real people, because when we actually listen, we find out we're not so different after all. If you've ever thought, hey, I've got a story worth telling, or you know someone who does, I'd love to hear from you. Just check out the description of this podcast and you'll find my link tree. In there is a guest form to fill out. And keep in mind, there's no cost involved, and I bring the studio to you. So fill out that guest form. I'd really love to talk to you. All right, so you gave me your top 3. What were the 3 that you don't look back on so fondly?
Toilets. The toilet doors, like, in public restrooms where you sit in there, and then in America, they have like giant gaps in in between the door and the cubicle, and it's like anyone can just look in and see you using the bathroom. And I found that so strange. Like when I got back through the airport in England, I was like, oh, I can go to the toilet without anyone watching me pee. I just found that such a strange thing to do, because it's like, that's not gonna, if an accident happens, that's not gonna save anyone.
Mm-mm.
Like, I get, you know, you have the gaps at the bottom of the cubicle, and I can see how that might be a safety thing. Like, if people need to get in, then they can. But the giant gaps where people can just look, like, you may as well not have walls. Like, you may as well just have the toilets sitting next to each other, because people can watch you anyway. Oh, that was something that really confused me over there. Another thing that was worse thing, the lack of public transport.
Oh,
Yeah, because I know they did have it more in like bigger cities and stuff, but from Boone, because I was in Boone and I couldn't drive, I did notice how there was like no public transport.
yeah,
Like,
no options.
yeah, I was like, I had to rely on like Ali and Adriana and Mal to get me places. Otherwise, I was just stuck. And it's not because like everything is so spread out as well over there. You can't
True.
even really walk somewhere without it taking like at least half an hour. Yeah, I mean, here I live in a village, so we don't have much around, but like I could still walk to the nearest town and go to the shops over there, and that would take maybe about an hour. And I live really kind of considered in the middle of nowhere, and
Right.
it'd still be an hour max to get down there. And even still, there were like buses. Like, we could get a bus from here and go into town. There's so much more public transport available, I feel, because we were talking about it as well. I remember, it was, is it Ubers there? Do you call it an Uber there?
Yes.
Yeah. People were saying how you could get an Uber. It was either from Boone to Ames or the other way round, but you couldn't get it the other direction. So like, it's like, what's the point in that? So you can get from Boone to Ames, but then you can't get back. Like, how does that make sense?
It doesn't. You're right.
No, I was like, if we're needing to get an Uber there, how do you expect us to get
Right.
back home?
Right.
That really confused me. My third thing. This is difficult. I'd say the automatic cars. Although it did make me feel quite cool, because, you know, I could drive a manual car with a stick. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. But, you know, just, I think it's bad for the environment, the automatic ones. Because you don't, yeah, because I've heard it goes into a lower gear than what you need it to be. So then it's like, it's worse for the environment, like, through that. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I should probably do some more research into that.
I'm not sure, but
I
it's
have heard
possible.
that automatics are worse for the environment in that sense. Yeah.
All right. Well, those we can work on those things.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh. And the plastic straws.
You don't care for plastic straws?
The turtles. You're killing the turtles.
Did you see how many turtles we have in Iowa? There are a lot.
1 million of them.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, in every corner.
We'll run over them all the time.
Yeah, just so much. And like, when they're bagging, you got me going now. I could go on forever. Like, when they're bagging in the supermarket, they're like double bagging everything with these plastic bags. And like, over here, everyone's using reusable bags. And it's, yeah. And I know, I think a lot of states do use like paper straws and reusable bags and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, Iowa need to work on that.
So you went to you went to DMAC for, you said criminal justice, is that right?
Yeah.
And are you using that now? What are you doing now?
I am working in a lab right now, so I guess the class that I did, the bloodstain pattern analysis class, that kind of helped because it was all the analysis of it. So that's kind of helped me get into the lab.
What kind of lab? Can you explain that a
Oh,
little bit?
it's a microbiology lab, so we get like samples of food taken from supermarkets, and we have to cut it up and add stuff to it and plate it to test it for like salmonella and listeria. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. I just started that job, so I've only done 4 shifts so
Mm,
far. 10-hour shifts, so we're getting used to that.
yeah.
I've started going more into that, and I do really like it. Because I did take after I graduated from DMAC, I was actually planning on going to university over here.
Mhm.
I was meant to be starting this September, but I had to defer, so I had to like push it back a year because we have something called student finance, where the government basically give us a student loan and they kind of pay for our tuition.
Mhm.
And I'd applied for that, and there were so many issues regarding that because they were saying how I wasn't able to get it because I'd already studied at DMAC, I'd already done higher education, and
Oh,
even they hadn't given me any money like for DMAC, and I was on a scholarship, so I wasn't really paying anything for DMAC anyway.
right.
They were like, "Yeah, we're not going to fund you." So like last minute, I had to pull out of that, and then I thought I'd take the year like to get like a more full-time job, so then next year if I wanted to I could fund it myself. So I planned on doing that, but then I landed this job working in a microbiology lab, and I was like, well, this is what I want to be doing anyway, so
Yeah.
I don't need to go to university next year. But I know some like higher level jobs do require
Mhm.
an undergraduate degree. So I have applied to, it's called the Open University. So I'm going to be studying part time while I'm working full time,
Okay.
and that course is meant to take 6 years. But because I've done 2 years at DMAC, it should take off some time for that. So then I should only be studying for 4 years
Okay.
part time instead. So that's beneficial because I can use my years from DMAC
Right.
towards that education, which yeah.
Good. Good. That's the way it's meant to work, right?
Yeah. I might be starting that in, I think it's like February or something.
Okay.
Yeah, my application for the credit transfer is being processed right now for that.
Okay.
But yeah,
Good.
so
Good.
hopefully in 4 years I'll have the undergrad and I can progress with my career as well.
Right. Right. Now, we have to bring it up. That's not the only thing you're doing for a job right now, correct?
Yeah, I do a bit of modelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took I think after my time at DMAC, I did go more into that. So I know I was trying to get out of that, but it's such a difficult industry to work in.
Right.
And yeah, there's a lot of risky kind of business there as well, which you have to be careful with. So I take that more as a hobby right now.
Mhm.
Like some of the shows that I do, they are completely volunteer basis. Like you apply and then you have to get selected. But yeah, they do not pay you; they just provide you lunch.
Right.
But it's such a good experience. Some jobs do pay, which is always nice. We
Right.
do love getting paid.
Right.
It's a big thing where models don't often like lower end kind of models, like the massive ones like the nepo babies. They get paid a lot, but yeah, lower ones don't really get paid as
Yeah.
much as they should. Like they're expected to do a lot of volunteer work. yeah, it's fun. Like, I do love getting my makeup done and my hair done and all of that,
Yeah.
so I really don't mind. But yeah,
Are you working with an agency? How'd you get started with this?
I am with an agency. Yeah, I've been with a couple before. They were not good. They were
Mhm.
really not suited to me. But I'm with one. It's actually called Ugly, which is an interesting name. Um, but I think because they specialize in unique, like more unique kind of looking models, and I'm 6'2", so I do fit in that. Like, so they have jobs that they put me for. I think it's a much better like suited agency for me, and they're
Mhm.
all such lovely people there. So that one, I was because I do I'm like an extra in movies. Like I've done two of those. Those pay quite well actually.
Mhm.
Um, like I did one the other day where I got paid to just go on roller coasters all day.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah,
that
it's
was
so good.
that was for a movie?
Yeah, series.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Is that
that was
something we're gonna be able to see?
it. Should be. I think it's on Apple TV.
Okay.
It will be coming out on Apple TV.
Can you tell us
Um,
the series name or no?
I'm not allowed to. I
Okay.
signed
All
an
right. All right.
NDA. Yeah, I did do another one as well where we were filming in a cafe, and that one should come out in February, perhaps.
Okay.
So it's sometime next year that it's meant to be coming out. But that one I found really cool because I'd watched that series before, and
Mhm.
then I got the job to like be an extra in it, and all we had to do was wander about in the background and get
That's
paid like £200 a day for it, which
that's
was great.
awesome.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I like doing stuff like that, and you get friendly with the people on set as well because you're spending so much time together.
Mhm.
Like the one, the one that should be coming out early next year. That one was only a day one, but then the other one with the roller coasters, we did that for 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, so I stayed with my grandma while I did that because she lived like an hour from set, and I would have been a lot further than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meet anybody famous so far?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
did.
you can't say, can you?
I can't say who it is. I was so excited though because my brother, he absolutely loves one of the actresses that
Yeah.
was in, and I met her and she said something to me and I was like, oh my god. And all she said was like, thank you, because I
Yeah.
like moved out of my way for her. But I was like, hey, you'll never guess who spoke to me.
You rub it in a little bit, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Any plans to visit the U.S.?
I do want to at some point. Yeah, I mean, Ali's off in is it North Carolina now? She's
Right.
in
Right.
North Carolina. I do want to visit her at some point because
Yeah,
I hear that she is absolutely loving it there, and
she is.
I
And you would, if
yeah.
you love sunsets, you'll love the mountains.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, I would love to come see that because I did go to visit Colorado.
Yeah.
Uh, that was last year. Was it September, October, something like that. Um, and that was beautiful.
Hmm.
Because oh, I do miss like the Halloween kind of stuff over there
Right.
because it's so much bigger. Like here, you don't even know it's Halloween. Like you get like the occasional pumpkin out, but really not much at all. Um, I mean, I was in church this year for Halloween because I was, giving kids face paints and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I didn't. Sorry, I didn't really see any trick or treaters or anything like that because I was in church. But it was a good environment in church.
Yeah. So, okay. So if you don't mind, let's talk about church for a little bit because that's
Yeah.
new in your life, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So I think when I was younger, my my family and I would kind of go to church. It was Church of England church, but my parents agnostic. The only reason we would do that is because I guess they did it when they were younger, and it was kind of just more of a habit.
More tradition. Yeah.
So I always find that a little bit confusing. And then we started up swimming, and that happened on Sunday mornings, and we would go to church. So we never went back to church because we were swimming. And then I guess I spent most of my life considering myself like as an atheist. And then when I went over to DMAC, there were so many more people that are Christians over there, or that believe in God in some way. And I began to like develop such an interest for it. And I saw what everyone was like. They were going to, I can't remember the name of it now, but it was the church kind of thing for like university students. And Ali would always talk about that with me. And I did consider going, but I was quite scared to go because I didn't want to feel like an imposter. And I guess at this point I was agnostic. And I did have such a curiosity in it. But because I wasn't a Christian at that point, I was like, I don't want to go and then not feel like I belonged there.
Right.
And I was very much scared for that. And I didn't want to be asked questions and then, be found out that I was an imposter.
Right.
So yeah, I had a lot of questions for Ali about it. And there was one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and see what it's like. And I'm quite sad about this because it was right towards the end of my time at DMAC. And the first day we went, my first day we went, and Ali and we sat at the back because that's what I kind of felt comfortable doing. I just wanted to watch. And there were so many people there, and I loved that environment. And I've always like felt something through music, so like the worship music, and I absolutely loved it. That first day, I was not expecting to come out of that and be like, "Oh my God, I love it so much." And
was that Salt that you were at?
Yes, yeah,
Salt.
that was.
Okay.
And yeah, I came out of that and I loved it, and I wanted to keep going back. It sucked that it was at the end of the year, but
yeah,
so I was quite upset because I didn't really think that there was anything like that over here, because I'd remembered like the Church of England, the hard pews and the cold kind of churches,
right.
And I'd never known anything different. So when I came back here to England, I was like, there's nowhere for me to go really.
Right.
And at that point, I would still consider myself agnostic, because there were aspects of the Bible that I would like find I didn't believe in, and I was still questioning, God and Jesus. And then I met my current boyfriend, and I spoke about it a lot with him, and he took me to the church that he went to, and that was an evangelical church, and it really reminded me so much of Salt, and I fell in love with that straight away, and I kept going to that, and I think through that repetition of it, when I kept going, the more questions I asked. I even joined a YA group, so young adults, where we do Bible studies and all of that. Yeah, and I know the more time I looked into it, the more I started to feel it, and I think it just got to some point I was like, you know what, this makes sense. It felt like it finally slotted into place for me, which it was incredible after such a long time of questioning everything. And like, yeah, there are still some times I'm like, I do question it, but I think that's perfectly normal, because I do always end up back at the place like, yeah. And I have found such a comfort in like praying and everything. Like before, I would never even consider doing that on my own.
Right.
And there are times where I'd do that and I'd find it really helps me. Like even when I do appreciate the nature, I'm like,
Yeah.
God did this. God created this.
Right.
Yeah. And,
That's awesome.
mm,
Well, we have been at this for almost an hour now. So I always like to wrap up these conversations with kind of the same question, but give me one, two, three people that have really made an impact on your life and made Emma who she is today.
Ali definitely is one because she started my journey with Christ. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have
Mm.
been able to get this far. I mean, DMAC wouldn't have been half as enjoyable as it was with her. Matthew, my boyfriend, he's made a significant impact as well because he's managed to continue that journey for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
my coach in sixth form, because without him, I never would have started basketball. I never would have gone to DMAC. I never would have grown as a person. I never would have kind of got over my social anxiety. I yeah, he was always there for me
Mm-hmm.
when I needed it, and I truly felt like he saw me. Like there were days when I'd feel really low, and it was like I'd have little therapy sessions with him
Right.
almost. Like we'd go into a room and he'd just talk to me about what's going on in my life, and I think I look back on that and I really appreciate it. Like I never realized how much he did for me until like more recently. I'm like, wow, that was a committed human being,
Yeah.
and I'm I feel bad for like everything he's gone through because he has gone through quite a lot with like them closing the basketball academy. But from what I heard, from what I last heard, he's doing something that he loves right now. He's in another school and he's thinking of opening an academy there as well. So I
Good.
hope that goes well for him because he does deserve to be successful again.
All right. Well, it doesn't sound like you have time for anything else. You've got the boyfriend, you've got the church, you've got modeling, basketball, and working in a lab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I miss anything?
um, I have to squish some time in there for my friends as well. But
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm thinking of joining because I teach I kind of do kids church as well. Like I
Okay.
do year 5 to 6 with my boyfriend. Actually, we do it together. Um, but I'm kind of wanting to join the worship team as well because I play drums.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Awesome.
so I've watched them play. I'm like, I would love to do that again.
Yeah.
Like, because that's something that it brought me to God,
Yeah.
and I, I mean, I still feel it so much whenever I
Mhm.
hear this music. I would love to be a part of it and to be able to bring other people in through that.
Right.
Like I've tried to convince my family to go to church,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that if I do drum there, that they would maybe come and just to watch me
Right.
and hope to get them in, but we'll
And
see. We'll see.
sometimes that's all it takes, just get in the door.
Yeah.
Well, Emma, it's been amazing catching up with you again, and I have to thank you for being such a good friend to Allie during that time too. Um, she's always spoke so highly of you. I think maybe sometimes made fun of your accent, but other than that, she
It's fine. I do it to them too.
yeah, right. That's what she said too. Yeah.
Water.
But thank you for coming on, and I really really did enjoy this.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Well, What Do You Know? The podcast created to tell people's stories. Everybody's got a story, and every story is worth saving.
The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Well, What Do You Know podcast, P Square Design, Pagitech LLC, or our sponsors. The Well, What Do You Know podcast, its parent company, and its sponsors are not responsible for any statements made by guests during the recording or publication of this episode.